I'm not surprised why Ghost in the Shell bombed this past weekend. Not because I don't like Ghost in the Shell. I love Ghost in the Shell. It's one of my favorite animes of all time. I'm not sure where it ranks for me, but it would probably definitely be in the top 10 movies. I'm talking, not anime series. I think I would have to create a whole nother top 10 for that. But think about it. How popular is anime really? I think I could have predicted that Ghost in the Shell would not have been that popular or would have done so well. It's Anime is not that popular as it is. I don't think it is. I think your average person does not appreciate anime or doesn't understand it, and that's fine. The people that praise Ghost in the Shell are people that are very deep into anime. Even when I saw it back in the 90s, which I don't even think I saw it right when it was released. I think I saw it in the late 90s. I didn't even really get the story. I was more impressed with the artwork, the amount of detail that they gave this anime. That I had never seen that level of detail other than Akira. At the time, I don't know that there was another movie that had such beautiful artwork. If there is, I'm not aware of it. But again, I'm not surprised why it bombed. I think in order to make a profitable Ghost in the Shell that appealed to the masses would have ended up pissing off the true fans, the fans that grew up with that movie or the series, because you would have to change it so much so that it's more so appealing to the masses. And even with the changes that they did, it just wasn't enough. And if they had made a 1-to-1 or almost 1-to-1 ratio copy of the anime from the 90s, I think it would have been even less appealing to the masses. Again, if I've worked with a lot of people, I've had many jobs. I've gone to high school, middle school, college. And in all that time, I think I've met like maybe 5 people that were really into anime and loved anime. And that's a lot of people that I've worked with and I've met in my life. Maybe you live in a different area and you found yourself in a place where there was a lot of people that have this appreciation and love for anime like I do, and I'm sure most of you do, because I'm guessing if you're watching this, you probably have some sort of an interest in anime or at least Ghost in the Shell. And that's fine if you grew up surrounded by people that love anime, but I think statistically most people do not really watch anime. I know that the percentage of people that watch anime is still pretty big, especially maybe in Japan or other parts of the world. I'm not sure how popular it is in Europe or South America. I mean, I'm sure there's a group of people that do appreciate it and like it, but still, when you compare that small group of people to the rest of the world, to the masses that go watch movies, I don't think it stands a chance to be successful. It's unfortunate. To me, when I first heard about it, I thought, I can't imagine this doing very well. Most people are not into anime, and if you get to a certain age, it's very hard to get into it. I think most people get into anime at a relatively young age. I'm not sure why that is, but I don't think it happens that often where like a 35 or a 40-year-old all of a sudden develops a taste for anime. There are exceptions, I'm sure, but I don't think that's how it goes. And like I said, when I first saw the movie, I didn't even really understand the plot. I was more interested in the artwork, the art style. At the time, I was a lot into drawing and sketching and just visual arts in general. And that really grabbed my attention. It wasn't until maybe 2 or 3 more viewings that I finally understood the plot of the story. And if you go back and watch the original Ghost in the Shell, the movie, the original anime, it's not that it's not that interesting of a story. It's kind of slow, to be honest. You really have to have a strong appreciation for anime to be into that movie. And I still like it, but I can understand how it doesn't appeal to most people. It's like I can give you a list of a bunch of movies that I love. I absolutely love, but I know most people that were to watch these movies would not like them. For example, something like Mulholland Drive by what's his name? Jesus, why am I for David Lynch? Yeah, his movies are weird and they do not appeal to the masses. But I love Mulholland Drive. It's probably one of my favorite movies of all time. And I can tell you that if I were to show that movie to most people, they would not get it. They would think, what the fuck did I just watch? What is this shit? The point I'm trying to make is that just because I like it, it doesn't mean that I can't understand why the masses wouldn't like it. For the record, I did like the movie. I really did. Because it's got a similar pace to the original anime. And if I didn't hate the anime, and in fact I liked it, I don't understand, or if anyone liked the original anime, I don't understand why you would hate this movie or have such a distaste for it. I find that most people that have negative opinions about this movie didn't really care about the original anime or haven't seen it. So they're watching it with fresh eyes. So I'm not surprised that they're being overly critical about it, or not even overly critical, but I understand where their criticism comes from. I think it was a well done movie. Looks beautiful. The story is fairly different from the original anime, but I didn't mind. It didn't bother me. I didn't care for that whole Scarlett Johansson controversial that whitewashing thing that some people were making a big deal out of. Again, it's a shame. It's a shame because I was hoping that this movie would be successful so that we could see an adaptation of other animes, but what else can you say? It sucks, and I don't think we're gonna see a sequel of Ghost in the Shell if they don't make their money back. Even if they manage to, I think in the future studios are gonna look at this and think it's too much of a risk. Maybe if they would have started with a different movie. There are so many other movies that they could have made instead of Ghost in the Shell that I think would have appealed to more people. Even something like Ninja Scroll, and give it an actual rated R, considering how rated R movies are very popular these days, and people have proven that they're not afraid to go watch a rated R movie, and in fact they might prefer it over a PG watered down version with what's it called, the success of Logan and I was gonna say Liverpool. I'm so stupid. Deadpool. Yeah, that Liverpool movie. It's the story of the soccer team. But I think with that success, the success of rated R movies, if they made something like Ninja Scroll, where there's a lot of action, a lot of nudity, a lot of mature subject matter, and there is like supernatural powers and demons and samurai and sword fighting and all this shit, I think that possibly could have been more appealing to start people off on that and show them that anime can be fun, and it doesn't have to be this slow-paced, dark, maybe, I don't know, maybe they overthought Ghost in the Shell too much. I don't know. I'm not a filmmaker, but knowing what I know and knowing how much I love anime, I don't think if I had the money, I would not have invested in that movie. As much as I love that movie, I think it was ultimately a bad investment. And I'm not saying that because it flopped. Even before the movie came out, I had these views, and I think it goes to show that anime does not appeal to the masses the way something like superheroes does, like a Batman or Captain America or the Avengers. It's unfortunate, so who knows if we'll ever see another live adaptation of one of our beloved anime movies out there. Maybe, who knows? Maybe someone out there will take an anime and do such a good job that it can start a whole new era of adapting anime into live action movies or live adaptations of these animes. Or maybe not, or maybe people don't want to see that. Who knows? I would love to see some of these movies be brought to life, like in Akira, for example. But yeah, Ghost in the Shell, I don't think it was the best starting point.